Hey guys, Alex here, and I thought I'd just shoot like a little mini review of Black Widow, seeing as I already did my Before You Go video last week. I just thought I'd do like a little follow up now that I've seen the movie and just my initial impressions and thoughts about it. And, if maybe I'll talk a little bit about spoilers or if my theories were correct or anything, but nothing too fancy. Yeah, so I went to go see Black Widow Thursday night. It wasn't my first time going back to theaters. I went to go see New Mutants in November. Yeah, that was in November. Me and my family got well-known events sometime in October, or no, when was that? It was in September. Was it in September? Yeah, it was within that like 3-month immunity that people say that you get when you contracted well-known events. And I figured, I was alone one night, and I was like, hey, I should go see a movie, just do something for myself. So I went to go see New Mutants, and I really like New Mutants, but now that I'm telling this story, I realize that this video is not about New Mutants, it's about Black Widow, which I should be talking about. So I went to go see Black Widow. I had no problem finding a ticket, but that's because the theater by my new place had like a showtime every 15 minutes. And the theater was moderately filled. It was a 5:50 showing, so 6 o'clock showing, I guess, but or maybe like 6:15. But yeah, it was a moderately sized theater. It was a good crowd. We laughed at some scenes. It seemed like we all really enjoyed the movie. At least I really enjoyed the movie. So, yeah, it was weird seeing a Marvel movie again after like I said in my Before You Go, it's been 2 years since the last one with Spider-Man Far From Home, almost to the dot. I believe Spider-Man was released like July 2nd of 2019, and this was like July 9th. I was going to go with like the Disney Plus option, but after talking to a few of my friends, I kind of wanted the movie theater experience again, and I'm already vaccinated. I got vaccinated a couple months back, Johnson & Johnson, before it got pulled, but I don't know if if that vaccination for well-known events is back on the market yet or not, but I feel fine. I'm doing good. How are you guys? But anyway, okay, so Black Widow, it's a movie that should have happened a long time ago. And I'm not saying that to the aspect of nobody wants this movie anymore, but Scarlett Johansson in 2021 has been Black Widow for 10 years now, since the release of Iron Man 2. And it took this long for her to get her own film. This is the second, female lead superhero movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Captain Marvel got her movie, and technically the third. Forgot to turn off notifications there, but I'm going to leave that in. But no, it would technically be the third MCU movie with a female superhero in the title after Ant-Man and the Wasp. So, the Wasp and Captain Marvel are amazing characters. I love Evangeline Lilly. I love Brie Larson in the roles. But, Scarlett Johansson definitely deserved to be the first female Marvel hero to get her own movie. And it's kind of a shame that it took this long. And, honestly, I really like this movie. And also, with well-known events that I don't want to bring up because I know that does something weird with the algorithm. But it's actually kind of obvious now because I've, done this thing 4 times already. But anyway, Scarlett Johansson, she deserved this movie. And, I really I like this movie, a lot. One thing that I noted in thinking in the movie, it didn't remind me of, a typical Marvel movie all the time. It reminded me of, a really good G.I. Joe movie. And what I mean by that, it's just, these heroes, they don't have, these amazing superpowers. They are a little bit more grounded than like Iron Man or Spider-Man. You know, she really gets hurt. There's a line that Florence Pugh says in the movie to her where like, oh, I don't think the god from space needs an ibuprofen after a fight. Which, you know, we never really talk about, like, unless you want to get to like a gritty superhero movie like, you know, the Nolan Dark Knight films, or like even Logan had some aspect of this where like just the things the hero does to their body and just the impact that they have to go through. It's nice to see that in a Marvel movie, and it's nice that Black Widow is the character that is the one that it gets brought up, because yeah, Black Widow, she's an Avenger obviously, but she and Hawkeye have often been the joke of being just like two regular people, even though like Black Widow has had like Red Room training and like she's like the most dangerous assassin in the world. You know, I mean, yeah, she can kick ass. She can kick my ass. I mean, obviously, but you know, there's always just that joke made that like, oh, these are just regular people or whatever. These you know, what are they gonna do in a fight? Like shoot and kick people? But like they shoot and kick people really good. You know, but I do like that aspect is brought up where like, oh, these fights actually really fucking hurt. Like there's a scene where Florence Pugh looks at Natasha at her bare back for some reason, and it's just covered in bruises. Like, yeah, she gets ragged all around, she gets you know, shot, she gets hit, she breaks her own nose at the end of this movie. You know, it's for the plot, but she ends up breaking and fixing her nose in this movie, and that was hard. That was hard to watch. I've never broken my nose or whatever, or I've never actually really broken anything. I've only been to the hospital for like a cut on my hand, like a deep cut in my hand. But yeah, just watching anything like that broken, like that scene in Endgame where like Cap's arm, like the bone is sticking out of the arm and he just has to like lace it back up with his shield. That was hard for me to watch. I don't know. I don't like the concept of having like broken limbs or shit like that. But damn it, did I just say that? I did. I'm not editing that out. I don't want to edit that out. You know, F it. But damn. Yeah. So look at me. I'm making jokes and I lose my train of thought. And now that I bring it up, I'm going to be able to play it off, and I'm not going to have to edit it out because I don't want to edit this thing too much, because it's already like 8:30 at night on a Saturday and I want to get this uploaded. But yeah, you know, it was a really good movie. I really liked what they did with the Black Widow movie, and I really liked the cast. Scarlett Johansson, great as always. Florence Pugh, you know, she is kind of well, let's get into it like a little bit. Like one of my theories was that she was going to be the one to take over the mantle of Black Widow, and that's kind of what seems to be happening at the end of the movie. Connected to another theory, I did give a spoiler tag earlier, I'm pretty sure, but connected to another theory that Julia Louis-Dreyfus from Captain America and the Winter Soldier, or Falcon and the Winter Soldier as it's called both. But Julia Louis-Dreyfus did return, and she was actually supposed to be in this movie first. But I think it's kind of better that we're introduced to her in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I'm pretty sure they had to like change things around, where like we're not introduced to her the way that we are in the new in the new movie. In that post-credit scene, I'm pretty sure they probably had to have like a scene introducing herself, which they brought into Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So it actually does show that these shows matter. It's, you know, all they've said is that, you know, the Marvel shows, WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Loki, they matter. They don't. It's not like the Defenders or Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. where like they kind of matter. These are compliments to the movie, and I really like that. I really like that Marvel is sticking to that, you know, and that we didn't have to watch like, at this point, what is it? It's probably like 15 hours of TV to, you know, just for it to be non-canon. I mean, I'm really hoping I'm hoping, but I'm actually really looking forward to Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, because that one's going to connect to my favorite show out of the three that I've watched so far, WandaVision. Because Wanda Scarlet Witch, she's gonna be in that, and we're gonna get America Chavez, and we're gonna get Young Avengers. We're gonna get a lot of stuff, and that's another thing. Young Avengers, Florence Pugh is either being set up to be in that Young Avengers because she's still pretty young. The film opens in 1995, and she was 6, so she would be 31 at this point in time. So I think she'd be closer to like 36, 37 at the main point in the MCU, because they did jump like 5 years. It might be 6 now. So they are at like 2024 or 2025, which, that's kind of what happens when the whole snap erases 5 years of history. But, yeah, so Florence Pugh is definitely being set up to be the next Black Widow. Julia Louis-Dreyfus was in the movie. There wasn't like what I thought was gonna be like the face swapping thing, where like in the movie Face Off, where Travolta and Nicolas Cage, they like get their faces cut and like swapped. There wasn't anything like that. There was that face mesh like changing technology that we've seen in the MCU. We saw it in Captain America and the Winter Soldier last, I believe. Yeah, because Sharon snuck in, wearing something like that, and we did get to see that, and we did get a little bit of a twist with Scarlett Johansson and Rachel Weisz's character, and I really liked what they did there. And that reminds me, Rachel Weisz's character wears it first, but it ends up being Scarlett Johansson. But the new Black Widow suit that she wears in this movie is probably my favorite Black Widow suit, for one sole reason, because the bracers and like parts of the belt are gold, like in her original comics appearance, where it's just like a black jumpsuit with like gold and red and everything. And I really do appreciate that, and it's kind of sad that they didn't keep that for Endgame, but it kind of makes sense that they kept it for her movie, where she is wearing kind of like this more it's definitely modernized. It's definitely got like the different splashes of color, and it's definitely more like militaristic and everything. But I really liked her suit in this movie, and we know where she gets the vest from Infinity War in this movie too. And yeah, so this is a little jumbled, but yeah, everybody was really good in that. I was really happy to see David Harbour in this, because I'm a fan of Stranger Things. And believe me, I'm a fan of Stranger Things. But also Rachel Weisz, I believe, she's from The Mummy, right? Like, I'm saying this to my camera, but I imagine you at home is going to be like, yes, Alex, she was in the Mummy movies, at least the first 2. I believe that's the Rachel Weisz that's in here. But she was really good. O.T. Fagbenley, I really liked his character, even though he wasn't what I thought he was going to be. I thought he was going to be Taskmaster, and from what I hear, a lot of people thought he was going to be Taskmaster. That was one of the theories I brought up in the movie. But he ended up being kind of like a Q kind of character, which is funny because Moonraker, the James Bond movie, I believe that was a Roger Moore movie, gets a little bit of a cameo in this movie, and kind of foreshadows a little bit of the events of this movie, which I personally really liked how it connects the things we already knew about the Black Widow, and it does answer some of the questions. It answers what the Budapest mission was. It answers something that Loki brought up that seemed like the most insignificant thing in the Avengers. It just something to be like, oh, what did she do? Or whatever. And that ended up being like the main thing in this movie, which I really liked. And, the main villain, Taskmaster, is kind of a side character, but that's kind of like what Taskmaster always was in the comics. He was never like the big bad. He was always like, he trains the That's essentially what the Taskmaster is. He like trains the henchmen, and he's like he has this photo reflexive ability and everything, which is really cool. But like at the end of the day, all he does is train henchmen, which is, I kind of like what they did with him here. And I know I would say that not a lot of. I would say that diehard fans of Taskmaster might not like the whole, spoilers. I've already said spoilers, but fans of Taskmaster might not really like the whole gender swap that ends up happening with the character. But then I realized, is there really any Taskmaster fans around here? Like, I've never heard, I wouldn't say that I'm like the most into the comics. I definitely like my comics. I definitely have periods in my life where I will go and I will set up, I've never actually set up a pull list, but I will just go and pick up comics, specific runs when they come out, and keep them in my short box, which, if you noticed, I went from like a bookcase to like a desk. I just moved into an apartment and I'm trying to figure out a good setup for this. I think the desk might be the way to go, but I'm saying that because my short box is somewhere in my new garage and everything's still in storage, and I gotta definitely get that out and get more comics in there. I need to get a new short box. Actually, my short box is actually kind of full. But what I'm saying is that I like to keep myself in the know with most comic related things, and Taskmaster has never really been like, that big of a hero, so I'm not entirely sure how like diehard fans of Taskmaster, because I'm sure there's diehard fans of Taskmaster. I'm not sure how diehard fans of Taskmaster will feel about like the character getting gender swapped, which, is kind of also a gray area I don't want to get into, because I don't want like certain kinds of people finding this video and saying certain kinds of really mean things and everything. But I personally liked what they did with the character. I liked what they did with the character that, in my eyes, hasn't really done a lot. So yeah, I'm definitely for the twist of this movie, and this is actually a really good movie. I am really glad that I went to go see this in theaters. I was going to buy it on Premiere Access so I can watch it multiple times for this review. But, I feel like I got most of my thoughts out and everything. So, hey, thanks for watching. Please let me know if you guys want any other kind of, content from me and everything. I definitely want to branch out and do a couple of different videos with a couple of different ideas that I have. I'm working on this, I don't know what to call it other than like a mini documentary, but it's probably not that, but it's going to be something completely different from what I did with Before You Go with this review. For one, it's not going to be a movie. I'm actually going to be talking about like an artist, or like an album for an artist. So like I'm going to be diving into music a little bit, which is one of my niches, one of the things. If you guys saw one of my earlier videos, I showed off my record collection. So I really like music, and I'd love to do maybe some music related videos. So I think a music related video is going to be what the next thing I'm going to be working on is. But I really appreciate you guys. You guys are watching my channel. You guys just found my channel. Please help me get more of the word out there. I want to start doing some more stuff. I want to do some more well edited stuff. I want to work on my editing a bit. This is just an easy one. Maybe an insert here, maybe an insert there, but so I'm already like almost at 20 minutes, so this is gonna be like a short review, but I guess I had a lot to say about a lot of different things, not just the movie. But thank you guys, thank you all my support, all my friends, all my family, or whatever. Family's probably not gonna watch this, it's not in Spanish, but oh man. Okay, alright, well, that's about me for now, so good night, everybody.